Compact phones and slim phones. These are the two trending smartphone form factors right now in the market. But between the two, if you ask me, I am firmly on the side of compact phones. What about you? I feel like slim phones are alright. Not something that I want. And the major reason for that is there have been great compact smartphones that have launched this year. That includes the OnePlus 13s, the X200 FE, the Xiaomi 15, and a bunch of others. But the X200 FE has been so good that there's literally a fight in the office as to who can get to use it as their primary device. For the initial review period, I used it as my primary device. Then Tanish used it for a week or so, and then Arnav used it for the longest period, and he was very sad to part with it when we said that okay, we have to do a long-term review. And it's been 60 days since we've been using the X200 FE, and we've properly battered it. We've dropped it multiple times. We've taken it out for a photo walk to take photos in Pune. We've watched like multiple seasons on Netflix, the whole hog basically. And the spoiler here is that we love this phone. It's a banger device from Vivo, and I'll tell you exactly why we love this phone in this long-term review of the vivo X200 FE. So stay with me till the end. If you're watching me for the first time, I'm Ershad. This is Trakin Tech English, your destination for detailed, incisive gadget reviews. Alright, now let's start off with the reason why I actually like using the X200 FE and compact phones in general is that because they are compact. And whenever I use a compact phone for review and then go back to a larger phone, for example, right now I'm on the Pixel 10 Pro XL, it always feels like I'm going from my i20, which I drive, to something like the, Mahindra XUV 700. But while you do get more space, the i20 is more convenient to handle. It sticks to the road better. It doesn't have the body roll of SUV, right? So that's how I feel about using a compact phone. And one of the reasons why I like not just the X200 FE but also the OnePlus 13s is the inbox accessories that you get with the X200 FE. You get one of the best cases that get bundled inside a box. It's a yellow color case, it's a color matched case, and it's held up really well in our usage too. And considering the fact that the X200 FE may not have that big of a third-party accessory ecosystem like an iPhone would or a Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra would, it just makes sense to have a really good case inside the box itself, right? Now, talking about the durability aspect of the phone, trust me, we have dropped this phone many times and from different heights on hard surface, on like proper tiles as well. And this phone doesn't have even a single ding to show for it. It's held up so well. It's built very, very well, surprisingly well. In fact, even the glass hasn't shattered, whether it's on the back or the front. And that's also partly thanks to the fact that you do get the short sensation core protection on top of the display. But the problem with the short sensation core protection is that while it does have very good impact resistance, it does, lose out on the scratch resistance aspect, because this one is definitely a scratch magnet. Unlike Trakin Tech English, which is not a subscriber's magnet. Please go ahead, hit that subscribe button, give us a support. Now, other small touches that made life easier was the fact that you do get an IR blaster with the phone, so you can control ACs, TVs, all of that with it, which is nice. And you also do get IP69 rating. It's been raining incessantly here in Pune and of course in Bombay as well. So yeah, I mean, it's held up well during the rains too. But yes, I must mention this specifically. The Type-C port at the bottom is Type-C 2.0. And for a flagship phone, it doesn't bode well because you do need faster transfer speeds, because we did get really slow transfer speeds with the phone when we were transferring stuff from the phone to a different machine. And we generally do use wired connection a lot of times, by the way. Yes, you can transfer stuff wirelessly, but yeah, once in a while you want the fastest speed, right? The display on the X200 FE is hands down one of the highlights of the phone. Now, don't let this tiny 6.31-inch display fool you, because this is a vivo Zeiss master display and you get specs that are absolutely top class and proper flagship grade. This tiny 6.31-inch flat OLED panel has 120Hz refresh rate, 5000 nits of peak brightness in HDR content, 1800 nits when you're watching HBM content, and you also do get excellent color tuning. In the professional color mode especially, you will notice that the color accuracy is top class. And the best part is the HDR gradation has been done so well that I think Arnav actually watched the entire season of Narcos on Netflix on the phone, and he completely enjoyed it. It was a treat on this phone. And this is despite it being a tiny display, mind you. Of course, if you're watching content on a larger display, you'll get a better experience, but still, this display is pretty good. And there's one thing that we noticed during our time of actually reviewing the phone is that the display size on the X200 FE and the OnePlus 13s is legit the same, and it has a similar kind of curvature as well. In fact, there's one funny thing that we noticed on Twitter where a user put this up. Essentially, you can swap the screen protector on the X200 FE and the OnePlus 13s. The display sizes, the curvature, everything is absolutely the same. And along with the display, even the speakers surprised me. For a tiny device, I expected the speakers to be average at best, but the stereo speaker quality is actually pretty good. It's loud, it's punchy, nothing to complain there. But it's not like the vivo X200 FE doesn't have problems, because the haptics are pretty average at best, especially coming from the OnePlus 13 series and something like the Pixel 10 Pro XL, where the haptic feedback tuning is done so well, especially across the system UI. The haptics on the X200 FE left us wanting more. And if you're an audiophile like me, then the X200 FE also supports the LHDC and LDAC codecs, so that's good for Bluetooth high-res codec. And apart from that, you can also connect an external DAC and listen to high-res music wired as well. Alright, now talking about performance and battery life, this phone has been rock solid. One of the reasons why I love the X200 FE is that it has been tuned very well for both performance and battery life. Of course, what you get is the Dimensity 9300 Plus with UFS 3.1 storage. Now, this is not the best processor that you can get among compact flagships, because with the OnePlus 13s, you do get the Snapdragon 8 Elite. But this compromise is alright because you do get better cameras, and I'll talk about that in a bit. And Dimensity 9300 Plus is pretty good for everyday usage. Not once did it stutter, or it's always been just a very smooth, buttery experience with the phone. And even the UFS 3.1 didn't seem like a huge problem because app loading experience was fast, and generally, everything was pretty smooth. And even the UFS 3.1 didn't seem like a problem in regular everyday life. Of course, in numbers, it doesn't match up to UFS 4.0, but most regular users won't care about the UFS 3.1 speeds. And I think that I am going to actually look at these aspects in a daily user perspective a lot more going forward, which is something that I've noticed. And I did tweet about bezel sizes recently as well, because I feel like some of these things may be very important to us tech nerds, but for the larger audience, the UFS 3.1 and UFS 4.0 might not make a huge difference. Now, if you're looking at this phone for gaming, I would suggest the OnePlus 13s would be better, because Snapdragon 8 Elite is more powerful if you want the best gaming performance among compact flagship phones. But with the X200 FE, you do get very good gaming performance as well, because with Genshin Impact, we didn't have any problem. And if you're like a casual gamer like me, then there shouldn't be a problem at all. If you're going to be playing 30-40 minutes at max of gaming on your phone, then the X200 FE will be absolutely fine. But if you're a competitive gamer and if you want sustained performance, for example, we did try out BGMI for 2-3 hours at a stretch, and after a while it started dropping down to 80 FPS, even if the lock was 90 FPS. It should be able to do stable 90 FPS ideally, but that doesn't happen. However, this is only a problem for if somebody's like a competitive gamer. Now, while checking out the user reviews of this phone, we noticed that some people were mentioning some slight heating issues that they noticed with the X200 FE, but not even once did we face any heating problems with the two units that we have in our office. So I'm not so sure if I can corroborate that bit. Now, moving on to battery life, it's been fantastic on the X200 FE. We're consistently getting over 8 hours of screen on time, which is fantastic. With the 9300 Plus on the X200 FE, we did actually get very good battery life. The other thing is that you do get 90-watt charging speeds too, so it charges from 0 to 100 in about 57 minutes. So really good endurance and very fast battery charging speeds. Good stuff here. Connectivity has again been rock solid for us. Absolutely no problem, except for a few minor things that we noticed. I'll come to that in a bit. But yeah, basically what you get is as many 5G bands as you can think of: Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 5.4 and NFC. Now, there are a couple of things that might be problematic for a few folks. For example, you do not get eSIM support with this phone. Now, for a lot of travelers, who travel internationally, eSIM support is very, very important, considering the fact that you can get eSIM apps that can get you data for cheap. And there's one more thing that Arnav noticed in his time with the phone is that once when he was using with the Geo network that he has, sometimes the folks on the other side couldn't hear his voice clearly. That was not a phone issue, because otherwise the earpiece and the speaker quality is very good. But Geo sometimes acts weird. But it was, I think, about once or twice, but after that, that problem didn't crop up. Alright, now talking about the software experience with the X200 FE, there's not much to talk about it. It's FunTouch OS 15. You know that I'm not a big fan of it. And of course, it's not the most fun software to use, but it is very, very stable. Because in the 60 days that we've been using the vivo X200 FE, not once did we face a single bug, which is not just rare, it is unheard of. Even One UI has some bug once in a while. The Pixel experience with the 10 Pro XL is horrendous. There are so many bugs on it. This one's clean. That could also be because it doesn't have too many features that are very modern, and Vivo can probably tune it to ensure that you get a stable experience. But that is fine, right? I mean, you get a stable and Android OS experience, which is something that a lot of people do care about. Now, to talk about the AI features on the X200 FE, the ones that I generally use, in fact, most of us in the office generally use, are Circle to Search and Gemini, or we probably use a chatbot of our own, like for example, Perplexity or ChatGPT. And all of that works absolutely fine on the X200 FE. But the AI features apart from that, we didn't use it much, but that's also true for most phones that we use. Except for the fact that the Pixel and Samsung generally do have more AI features that feel a little more useful, like the writing tools and stuff like that, right? I mean, they generally do come in handy a lot. So the X200 FE should not be the top priority for you if AI is something that you're looking at the most, like AI experiences on phones, because that is going to be a conversation that we're going to be having a lot anyway. But right now, I think most of the AI experiences are pretty average, and you know about Apple anyway. Overall software experience, I would categorize it as good, but not great. And finally, the real reason why everybody in our office is clamoring over the X200 FE instead of the OnePlus 13s, the cameras. So the X200 FE packs a 50 megapixel Sony IMX 921 primary camera. You also get a 50 megapixel telephoto camera, which is a 3x camera, and an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera with Zeiss-tuned on board. With 3 proper cameras, it's already won the battle with the OnePlus 13s over there, right? Anyway, we went on a photo walk in Pune with just the phone, and the results were stunning. Daylight shots, low light captures, even portraits. This phone rarely ever disappoints. The Zeiss filters also add an artistic flair, and the colors also look pretty good. Except for the skin tones, sometimes they are problematic. The telephoto lens is especially fun because you get crisp results at 3x, and it's also usable beyond that. If you want to get to 6x, it shouldn't be a problem. Although yes, the 8 megapixel ultra wide angle is kind of weak in comparison. Selfies we actually did like with the 50 megapixel camera. What really impressed us was the dual front flashes, which is extremely handy for clicking selfies in near pitch dark conditions. However, the night mode selfies are still really bad. Vivo, even after multiple times that we've told them that please fix the skin smoothing issue in the super night mode, they haven't done that. I hope they do that. In fact, in general, I feel like the only problem with the X200 FE's cameras that we noticed are the skin tones, which could have been better. But otherwise, overall, fantastic set of cameras. And even for video, if you look at it, it's good. It's stable, it's detailed, and yeah, you do get 4K 60 FPS video recording from the primary, the telephoto, and the selfie camera. Of course, it's not going to be iPhone level with the X200 FE, but it's pretty dependable for casual shooting and some fun video shooting. Overall, if you ask me, 99% of the time, I enjoyed the outputs from the X200 FE. And in general, the X200 FE's camera setup for a compact flagship is one of the best that I've tested. So after 60 days of using the X200 FE, I can safely say that this is the best compact flagship phone in the market right now, and it's an easy recommendation. I've been recommending it to a lot of people depending on their usage, of course. And the reason for that is pretty simple. You get dependable and very good performance, excellent display experience, very good build quality as well, along with IP69 rating. You also do get fast charging, excellent battery life, fantastic cameras, by the way, for a compact flagship. The only drawback in my experience is definitely going to be the software aspect of it. If you want like modern features and stuff, then the X200 FE will not cut it. But if you want stability, then it will. There are some tiny things apart from that. For example, the weaker haptics, the USB 3.2, the scratches on the display, all of these things are also problems, but these are problems in more expensive flagships as well. So yeah, I'm not gonna harp on those. Software experience, I mean, yeah, is something very important for a lot of people. Alright, so that concludes my long-term review of the X200. In fact, our long-term review of the X200 FE and our experience with the phone here at Trakin Tech English. It's been great, of course, but I would love to know what actual real users of the X200 FE think about their purchases in the comments, so you can help other people out as well. Alright, that's it from me for this one, and stay tuned for a lot of sales-based videos and other long-term reviews and comparisons. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep tracking and stay safe.